1, 2, 3.
Okay, this that go play. This that opposite of bad steak in your plate. This that 41 with a gun in your face. RJ is your boss, he sent you home with no pay. And he's so clutch, he's so out of line, you know what? Even if the stat line don't hold up, even if the foul line is cold cuts, there's no overtime or big nuts. Better play 48 against us. Down by 48 is still trust. Evan Fournier just went nuts. Almost had 48 and come bust like the rim when it winning. New York hood feels so good when we winning. I still can't believe that went in. RJ called bank like he forgot his pin. Low percentage, get no mentions, it don't bother him. All those block shots cannot stop what's bottled in. Bust that somber maple number, you can rattle this. Like some cows on a piece of paper, he the catalyst. RJ.
Man, that was crazy. I honestly didn't even really see it because I fell. I didn't even see it go in, but just from everybody else's reaction, I could tell, so that was cool.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are still celebrating from last night. We're still celebrating from last night, but there was mayhem in Manhattan, without a doubt. It was crazy last night, ladies and gentlemen. We got a nice lineup of people here to talk about it. Uncle Fournier was in the building. As a matter of fact, we got two. Listen, Uncle Fournier, we got Julito in the building. And in the last week, both of these guys been all over Knicks media. TNT, on the Garden Court, getting jerseys, all kinds of stuff. What's going on, man? What's up? I feel left out. You know what I'm saying? I feel left out. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the shoot around presented by Thrive Fantasy. Make sure you go to thrivefantasy.com and use the code NBK. Let's go ahead and let's get into this. Uncle Fournier, what's poppin' with you, man?
Sam, what's going on? Still, all high off that victory yesterday. Definitely excited to break this game down a little bit in more detail. I know we were just going off pure emotions last night, but I think this is the show where we're going to kind of break it down, get into a little bit of the intricacies and a lot of these storylines that are surrounding the team. So, salute.
Yeah, no doubt. Andy?
Yeah, what up, Sam? Happy to be on with you as always. But listen, today, like you said, we got a star-studded panel in Julito, TNT Josh. So, listen, I'm always happy to be on Shoot Around. And listen, after a game like this, you already were mentioning me in the post games, so I got stuff to talk about.
I knew you was coming on today. It was no doubts about it. You was gonna be here today. Julito, what's good, man?
Hey, Sam, what's up, man? So good to be with y'all. Andy, my guy. Josh, my guy. It's been a little minute since I came and kicked it. I haven't got off my takes and thoughts in a large form, in a long form, in a little minute. So what better place to do it than, the home team, and that's, nothing but Knicks. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm glad you. How did you end up getting that Alec Burks jersey? I'm jealous. I don't get jealous much. I'm jealous.
No, and it's crazy, right? Because I don't know Alec personally. I do know Taj. So Taj is the kind of guy, when he's on the court, he's focused. So he'll say what sucks to me in the beginning of the game, and then he's focused. He doesn't look at the crowd. So I was like, damn, I can't ask Taj because he ain't never going to really look over this way again. It was a moment Alec got near me. I said, yo, Alec, what up? He said, what's up, my guy? I said, I get that jersey? He said, I got you. And I thought, I was like, they say that, but then there was a moment, he kept looking over my way the whole game. So I guess maybe to see if I'm still there. And then right at the end of the game, I saw him look over. He started taking that jersey off. I was like,
yeah, that's dope. That was dope.
Hit, man.
That was dope. There it is. There it is. That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The official, you know what I mean? It's stiff because for some reason, I don't know if y'all know, these dudes be sweating. So it's like it done cooled off and now it's dry.
Right.
You know what I mean? But with the illest part to me, I never saw a game-worn jersey before. I've never had one. But right here, the stitching that says "Once a Knick, always a Knick."
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah, that's
man.
fire.
Shout
Yeah,
out
that's
to
dope.
Alex Burke for that, man. That was a pleasure.
Yeah, that was definitely dope, man.
Yeah, yeah. And it wasn't me that Julius was talking to in the crowd.
Julito, we're gonna get to that, Julito.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Listen, I was watching the game and I seen Julius fall down and start yelling to the sideline, right? And I said to myself, I didn't know where you were sitting at the time because I hadn't seen you on the sideline yet. And I said, I wonder if he's talking to Julito. Like, maybe Julito said something, work hard,
I would never disrespect no player. Listen, man, what I say on Twitter, my takes, it's straight from a fan's perspective, but I also honor when I'm at the games. I honor my seats. I honor those players because no matter what, I can't do anything they did, not even the worst player on the bench. So I would never disrespect a player at all when I'm there, out of straight respect. It was some guys like in a section, not even on the floor. They were, maybe like the first section up. So I didn't hear what they said, but I did hear Julius have some very explicit words for them.
Yeah,
so
I'm
it was
sure.
not me. I wouldn't
sure he
disrespect
did.
our players or any players on the court ever.
Yeah, no doubt. But I was just wondering because I seen him and I thought, right, and then I seen you sitting on the sideline. I said, hold up. I was like, maybe he really was. That's what made me send you the tweet saying, was that you? But that's what's up.
Somebody, the casual fans, people who came one, first game and they see they're close enough because the players hear everything. You see all day they're bickering with the fans in the stands. Oh, they hear everything. Yeah. And even with as loud as Garden being, if you wait for a good moment where it get quiet, they'll hear it. So I would never do that. It wasn't me. I'm once a Knick, always a Knick, and you know what I mean. I wouldn't even disrespect Alfred Payton like that.
What about Jared Jeffries? I know you'll disrespect him. If he was Jared.
Jared, I got no beef with Jared Jeffries.
I do.
But
I got no beef with Jeffries.
Since we on it, we might as well get into it.
Yeah.
Right, we might as well get into it. Julius Randle, he's all over the news today. All right, listen, 4:00 in the morning, I did a video, put it out, and I didn't expect it to get the response that it did. You know what I mean? But you all know he gave the thumbs down. And he said, when he was asked what it meant, he said it means shut the up. You know what I mean? And he was not shy about saying it. And when he was asked, if it was a response to something in particular, he said, you saw that, you saw what was going on with that, right? And to, for a little bit more evidence, if people say, well, how do you know he was talking about the fans? When Bondi actually opened up the question, he said, I seen you make a gesture to the fans. What did that gesture mean? And this is what he said. Before I even give my take, people seen my tape and what I think about it. Josh, I'll come around. Josh, your thoughts on it, man.
Of course, Sim wants to save his words for the end. But no, listen. First of all, fans have every absolute right to boo, to express their displeasure, especially if you pay your money for your hard-earned money for a ticket and you feel like the product that's out there that you paid for is not up to par, right? 100%, right? Obviously, there's a line. Right. And any fan or anybody does not need to cross that line. That's talking about getting personal, talking about someone's family, all that things of that nature. I do not know whether this happened in this particular case at the game. I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence to show that. However, I've seen evidence on Twitter and on other, stuff that, a lot of fans are coming at Julius Randle's family. I don't know whether that was something that triggered him to do what he did last night. But that's a line that cannot be crossed with anyone, any fan or anything like that. That should not be crossed. I do want to say, though, fans have every right to boo and they have every right to express their displeasure. And I feel like Julius Randle, the way he handled it, was also proper. He expressed his displeasure with the people booing. I have no problem with that at all. I don't know why this is truly that big of a story, but I don't have a problem with it with any of this at all.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought that I was going to have a problem with what you said, because I don't have a problem with what he said. And I don't have a problem with the fans booing him. Right
Oh,
now,
I know why you're not gonna like it.
Hold up.
Okay.
Now, the other day, yes, I said, fans, if our team is down, let's try cheering them, this, that, and the third. But I don't have a problem. I think it's the fans' right to boo if they want to boo, right? Anything that has to do with the basketball court, if you want to criticize a player, it's your right to criticize a player. If you want to boo that player because you don't like that player, it's your right to boo that player. Stuff that's off the court, I think is out of bounds, in my opinion, right? But anything that has to pertain with basketball and on the court, it's your right to do. And I think it's Julius Randle and any other player's right to say, I don't like it, so close your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And fans, there's a lot of fans that say, oh, he shouldn't have said that. He should apologize. I disagree with them. I think, if you're going to dish it out, just be willing to take it. It's a love-hate relationship. It's all good. That's what happens. Same thing happened with Patrick Ewing back in the day. Happened with Carmelo Anthony. You know what I mean?
The reason, real quick, the reason why I say you're not going to like what I have to say about it is because you had a total opposite take when I brought up the whole James Dolan thing, right? James Dolan, the dude was heckling James Dolan, right? It didn't get personal. He said he wanted James Dolan to sell the team. And you said that the fans should not come to an arena and disrespect the owner. To me, that's not disrespect.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said James Dolan is within his rights. If somebody came into my store or something that I owned with my money and said, your store sucks, then I'm going to say, get out my store. And I have the right to say that.
Right. And I'm not saying James Dolan does not have the right to say. That's not where I was coming from with the argument. Where I was coming from with the argument is, one, the fan had every right to say what he said to James Dolan, right? And two, to me, even though you could do something, you could kick that person out your store. To me, I don't think that was fair for James Dolan to do that because the fan was expressing his displeasure at James Dolan's workplace for a product that he paid his hard-earned money for, right? And James Dolan kicked him out the arena because everyone was laughing at him, at his expense. To me, this is the same situation.
It's not.
A fan came. Fans come to the arena.
Julius Randle doesn't own Madison Square Garden.
Okay, so are you telling me it makes a difference whether someone is an owner rather than an employee? Does that make a difference?
Julius Randle doesn't own Madison Square Garden. Julius Randle responded the same way James Dolan responded. You know what I'm saying? Julius Randle didn't ask for that fan or any fan, one particular fan, to get kicked out the arena. He just told him to shut your mouth. That's it.
Right, that's what I'm saying, Sim. So what I'm saying is it doesn't make a difference whether you're an owner or employee. Yes, James Dolan has every right? He owns the building, he owns the team to do it, but that doesn't mean he should do that. That doesn't mean he should do it. That's where I was coming from with that situation, in my opinion. Fans they pay their money to come watch the games. They have every right to boo as long as it doesn't cross that line. When I was making this argument, you guys were saying that fan crossed the line by saying he should sell the team.
I never said that. I never said that the fan crossed the line. I never said that. The clip. You can find the clip. I never said, maybe someone else did. I said, if a fan comes in and says da-da-da-da, it's within James Dolan's right to say, hey, this is my building. I don't want you saying that to me. And if the fan wants to say it, then they take their chance of saying it.
Okay. I'll find the clip.
I hope so. Go ahead and find the clip. Go ahead and find the clip. Julito, I know you've been a critic of Julius Randle. How'd you feel being someone that's, been an outspoken critic of Randle when he was asked the question and he said this is what it meant? How'd you feel about that?
He has more than enough right to say whatever he feels. He's a human. I don't look at basketball players as being puppets or slaves to organizations or to fans. He's more than in his right to say what he wants. And we are more than in our right as fans, right? Especially a New York City Knicks fan, right? Like we have been with this team, most of us 10, 15 plus years. We have laughed, cried, we've spent our money, right? And not saying that's acceptable for us to talk, however, because to the people who were talking about his children, to the people that are talking about even him personally, in any of my critiques, the only thing I've ever said about him personally was about body language. Right. And I have many tweets where I've said, I am understanding that he has a newborn, that he also has a 6-year-old, I believe, Kaiden is 6. I'm understanding that he's not probably getting enough sleep with a newborn in the crib. I'm understanding of all that. And at the same time, I'm expecting that if I ever say anything to that man and he comes on my Twitter and he says, yo, STFU, he has more right. Now, will I accept that now? We're going to have some words. But at the same time, yo, these sports players are not robots. They're not machines. They have feelings. They have a heart. But this is New York City, man. I'm sure people have heard boos, right? Like, go to Dykeman. Go play in Dykeman, man. And I don't care about the Brooklyn Nets, nor do I care about KD, but I always respected the fact that he went to Dykeman and he went to Rucker and he played in those games. If you want to hear disrespect, if you want to, go to Dykeman or Rucker. What's up, Kev?
Hey, how you doing, Lito?
So for me, I look at it as we're all in right? I don't, like Josh was saying, I don't know what he's actually hearing out there. These casual fans that go to the game, these schmucks, right? That these guys who got in the business suits that wear, that got the big money to get close seats. These guys sometimes are disrespectful out there. So I'm not in Julius's shoes to know if someone said anything about his children, about his family, or anything disrespectful, right? I don't know. I'm sure it had to be something. The only thing I'll say about it is don't start a war with the fans. That's something you don't want to do. It's not going to turn out right. This is New York City. The fans we are very rambunctious group of well-opinionated people. I don't know if you want to make this a thing with the fans, right? Like, I know the guy in the Mets, he did the same thumbs down, and they told him a new one, Baez, right? They told him a new one. So, Julius, focus on the game, but use this, man. Listen, I feel like it is something that needs to be used in the moment. Use it for your energy. If this is the energy he needed to give us what he gave us. Because let's be honest, the only reason he got booed last night was because he started the game like, 0 for 7, 0 for 6? He didn't score into the second quarter. Right. He didn't score into the second quarter, and we were getting killed by 20 most of the game. So it was in our right to boo, right? That's just what's going to happen in New York City. But the same way you go in on us when we boo is the same way we make you feel like the king of New York when you were killing for us last season. Just know it comes with the territory. And I think it's blown out of proportion. And it's actually just the New York media waiting for something, right? So get out of here, man. This New York.
Was it just him they were booing, though? Because a lot of people don't know. Was it just him that was booing? Because the entire team was playing poorly, right? RJ Barrett shot terrible last night, right? So maybe Randle was the only person that probably took offense to the booing, took exception to it for the entire team. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it's not just directed at him. A lot we don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think the booing was directed at the team, not just Julius Randle. I just think he took offense to it, because of, other reasons besides just booing. I'm sure he's seen people on Twitter, when he had COVID, saying, they're glad he has COVID and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure he took some offense to that. People go to his wife's Instagram page, and post stuff about him. Like, that's what to me, that stuff is crossing the line. You want to boo? Cool. You know what I mean? But that stuff right there is crossing the line. Even like Julito, you said, I spoke about his body language. To me, that's not personal at all. That's basketball, right? That's part of the basketball game.
You talk about another player that playing for a New York team that literally gave the fans the finger. I don't know if anybody remembers Jack McDowell that played for the Yankees. He was being booed coming off the field, and he gave him the finger, and that was it for him.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you what. I'll do you one better. I'll do you one way better than that, Kev. Mm-hmm. Just a couple games ago, and I didn't download the video because, you know what I'm saying, I didn't want to shine this light on RJ. But there's a video out there of RJ speaking directly to a fan. The fan says something like, RJ, you're 29 years old, or something like that.
No,
right?
minus 20. It was minus 28 or minus 29 or something. Minus. It was a minus, plus minus.
Well, or whatever it was, right? And RJ looked at him. He said, are you watching me play? And the dude said, yeah. He said, well, then shut up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then he turned back around and went back to the bench, started playing basketball. I feel like, I mean, the same exact words. Obviously, these words are uttered every single day by a lot of people. But maybe this right now is the mantra of the players on the team. Because Julius is getting flack, Fournier is getting flack, everybody's getting flack from the fans. And so maybe this is just kind of their mantra right now.
And that was I just want to say that was in OKC, and I don't think Julius was talking to a New York fan, probably talking to a fan out in OKC. I want to say something real quick. Somebody in the chat said, call out Julito for talking about Kendra, Julius's wife, in Spaces the other day. First off, Snitchy McBride. I didn't talk about his wife. There was a conversation that was raised where somebody was talking about her, and I said, listen, that's a little too personal. Let's stop talking about her. Even though I do think Julius he has the worst basketball wife in the league. Cool. Probably a little too far. We were in Spaces. Everybody was laughing. We was having a good time. Stop snitching in the comments, widow. Stop it.
Khalito, that's why I like you, brother. That's why
I'm talking real.
That's why I like
in the comments. Anyway, sorry about that.
Yeah,
no, it's all right.
Andy, I didn't get your thoughts on it, man. I'm gonna come around to you, Kev.
Okay.
Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, listen, I'm with totally agreeing with what you guys said, because this is, I'm not expecting, an apology from Julius Randle. For me personally, I wasn't offended as a fan. Maybe because I didn't hear it live here in Poland. but listen, yeah, but to be true, I'm not offended. If I would be at the game, I wouldn't boo, because I understand that, I wouldn't boo even if they were playing poorly. Like Julito said, I got that respect, and I rather, try to analyze the game and think how should they play better and stuff like that. I wouldn't boo. For me, that's, but I really think that also Julius, I think it must have been something personal, because, even if he's the leader and stuff like that, I don't think boos should affect him. He should be like, listen, we're playing bad. We got to pick it up, right? And, but like I said, I'm not offended by that gesture that he did, and I'm not waiting for an apology or from the organization or from him or from whoever, right? I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Kev?
Yeah, I wasn't offended by it either. I remember years ago, I went to a game, was in a sweet box too, where we were playing the Lakers when Shaquille and Kobe were playing, and the Lakers were beating us left and right in the first half. In the second half, and they were getting booed. The Knicks were getting booed by everybody. And in the second half, we almost won, but that Kobe factor came in, and we lost the game. But being booed, that's our right to do. And I will say that some of these players are too sensitive. But we also got to remember, if we're booing, we also have to expect also for them to, I won't say retaliate, but show some feelings, because they are human beings too. And yes, they, they're getting paid and all this other stuff, but they're human as well. So I wasn't offended yesterday. As a matter of fact, I didn't know that he did what he did until after. I mean, I saw the thumbs down and everything, and I was like, okay, thumbs down. Then I find out, what happened. But they had a right to be booed yesterday in the first half. I mean, they were playing like garbage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Julito, you were there. You saw.
No, I wasn't there. I would have.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, I was in Dave and Buster's, and
okay.
they almost kicked me out because I was acting like game 7 of the finals. So I wasn't there.
I'm sorry, but you've been to games where they played like garbage, and you're waiting for a spark to happen. You're waiting for that spark to happen, and you say to yourself, when they get that spark, and eventually, they turn around, you ask yourself, well, where was this in the first quarter? Where was this in the first 5 minutes?
But I'm also understanding, Kev, that sports is a game of runs, especially basketball. It's a game of runs. Mm-hmm. I think even that run yesterday was like, that was out of, we went on a 22 or 21 and 3 run.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's kind of out of the norm. So for us to have the the wherewithal to be able to come back in the fashion we came back in, with Evan hitting probably, and I'm sure we'll get to it, with hitting some of the wildest shots I've seen in a Knicks jersey. It's a little different. Last night was a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to look at it, it looks really bad on Boston, because if that was like a Denver team, Denver would have put the pedal to the metal, on us, and these guys let us back in the game. So, and eventually win it. So
Good news for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, all right, we might as well go ahead and float right into Evan Fournier. And Andy, I'm gonna let you get the mic first.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you get the mic first. You gotta get the mic first, man, because the other day, you said Evan Fournier was definitely gonna get the over for 12.5 points, and he got 0, but he came back with 41 last night, a career high for Evan Fournier, and he looked like he had some venom in his blood too. And listen, he turned around. I'll say this before I let you go. He knocked down a shot. I think it was the shot in the corner. Maybe it gave the Knicks the 1-point lead at the time, and he turned around to the fans and he signaled 3 to the fans, and he's screaming. But I could tell you that scream was not just a celebratory scream to the fans either. That was also a STFU. I can guarantee it. In his mind and in his heart, it was an STFU. You know what I'm saying? But he celebrated with the fans.
Yeah, Sim. Listen, you probably know that I was so proud of him, and I was watching the game today in the morning, and I just asked my friends, don't spoil the result. Just tell me if he went over 12 points. And the guy's like, listen, you're gonna be happy. So I'm watching the game. I was gonna do some video short moments with me looking at those threes. Oh, and let me shout out Gmo in the chat. Happy you got here, Gmo. Because we were talking about this.
He's a chump.
Yeah, but no. Jimo's cool, but we had beef over
Can I jump in here? Gmo was cool until I seen his celebration last night. After that, he lost his cool card. I'm sorry, Gmo, you got to earn that cool card back. Ladies and gentlemen, please go to his channel.
I'm about to say, wait, what'd he do?
Go.
Nemo is a wild guy, so I know he's wild.
Go to his channel.
Watch it. I'm gonna watch.
Go to Legion and Knicks channel and just watch his celebration when RJ hit the 3. You lost your cool card. You got to earn it back. Anyway, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I also didn't see it. I saw Iru, watching the game and his, last minute. So I saw that. I'm gonna go up to Gmo, but Gmo's, watch along parties are 4 hours, man. So you got to find time to rewatch it, as far as I can do it, right? Listen, I think, like you said, Sim, and not only about that 3, I think it was also the whole game. I think Evan got a little bit, mad that he went donuts before, and I think it's starting to, he's starting to get a little bit mad and going to get a little bit more aggressive. And like we said before, player with a high IQ and that can control that aggressiveness on the court, but also use it to his advantage, is going to be a way better player. So I'm expecting for Evan to, maybe not after this game, but I'm expecting him to, go away and raise that, 12.6 average per game to closer to 20. And listen, and like we saw, both RJ and Julius weren't there in the first half. And, we were down, right? The second half, thanks probably to Evan and the 10 threes that he tied the Knicks record. That definitely helped us, right? But it's still a team game, and and just to cool everybody's head and about my relationship with Evan Fournier. I still think he didn't play a perfect game. I saw stupid mistakes, stupid turnovers, right? But I'm not gonna bash a guy that had 41 points.
Right.
That's just nitpicking at a point, huh?
Right. I mean,
yeah. That's why I'm going to leave it for myself.
He did have 8 rebounds last night, though. You know what I mean, he was playing with some venom, with some fire in his belly last night.
Yeah. Listen, I think it was also thanks to Julito, because when he jumped in that thing, I think Julito told him something, man, and I know he's not going to tell us maybe after the show in the back in the green room, but I think you had to do something, man.
What I did do was I put up a post right before the game started, and I said, "Listen to y'all that's watching on live TV, to the world, Fournier is about to have a game of his life, and we're gonna look like bullies." But he did not play like this all the time. And I did not think I was going to be, when someone called me Huli Domistress, what is it, Nostradamus?
Yeah.
I don't know how I called that. Well, we all knew, right? If you watch the games, we know he has the Celtics number, right? Like he has the Celtics number. So to see what he did last, I don't want to order him, but to see what he did last night.
Nah, you good. You good. Yeah.
Nah, man, like, what I really was, of course, the shooting, of course, he had 10 threes, man. He tied the record for most threes by Nick, ever. I really love the 8 rebounds. I like that, 15 for 25. That was, I take it, right? Like, I'll take that. There was some circus shots he hit, and I think it was, if you've ever played basketball before, it's sort of like last night for me felt like, in a sense, when you playing pickup and you bring your girl to the court with you, right? Or you playing pickup and, your homie you don't talk to anymore, he's on the other team. So you got, right? Like, he just had, like you said, like some venom out there. He has some ice in his blood. He has his old former team, right? He has, who gave up on him, essentially. They didn't re-sign him. He has this fan base at home. So with this fan base, who, we've been going in on him. It hasn't been as bad as Julius, but we've gave him some words, especially in these last, he didn't score last game,
right?
Right? So he had a lot to prove, and, that was probably one of the best, all-out performances from an individual player in the last, 5-6 years, right? Like, that was stellar, man. And I'm, I think, I don't know, Tim, we need to put, the Celtics logo on every jersey that comes into the Garden against us. Like, if we just could get just 25% of what he gave us yesterday against every team, he would look like a good contract, man. And I think that's all we want as Knicks fans, for Fournier's contract to not look like a bad contract.
Yeah, for real.
And I hope he can do it again. Thank God we play the Celtics against tomorrow. So, hopefully he can repeat, right? I don't know if he's going to give us 41. I say that now, and then he's going to give us 60 next game, right? So let's hope for the best, right?
Fulio, your thoughts on, let me ask you this. And then you can go in, you can leave with this and then go in and talk about whatever. And Carl, I'm going to get to you in just a second. Just be patient. I know you can hear the show. Do you think that Evan Fournier, with his performance last night, won over the Knicks fans, or does he still have more work to do? Or this just buy him a grace period?
I think it definitely buys him a grace period. I think, his performance last night, I mean, he was hot from the field. I think it definitely covers, or at least, makes up for a lot of, the past 3 months of inconsistent, more so bad play from Evan Fournier. But I do want to say this, Andy, the issue, I never had an issue with Evan Fournier coming to this team. I never said that. I know.
I can name people, man, but you're laying on the list.
I know, right?
I'm trying to offer you some perspective. I never had an issue with Evan Fournier coming to this team. I did have an issue with the amount of years he got, but the amount of money he makes per year, I don't really have an issue with that either, because if you look at his career, his track record, he's worth that, $18 million a year, in my opinion, right? The issue is when you're making $18 million and then you come out and you start having these kinds of performances, right? There needs to be some accountability with that. And that's why fans gave him the booing. We're just talking about it. Fans booed him accordingly. He deserved to get booed because we all know Evan Fournier is a better player than what he's been shown, right? Last night, I didn't see the Knicks really do anything schematically different than what they've been doing the entire season. No. The only difference was last night was that Evan Fournier got hot. Unstoppable from three-point range, and then they kept feeding him, and he kept knocking down those shots. So my issue with your whole view about Fournier is you said that the Knicks need to use him differently, and they need to do this and they need to do that. They didn't do anything different that they've been doing the entire season. Only difference was he made his shots. So Evan Fournier has a role in this offense, in my opinion. I think the front office sees that. I think Tibbs sees that. That's why he continues to play. And like I told Stem in the pregame, I would not be surprised if the front office brings back this entire unit for another season next year and see how it rocks out again next year. Maybe some more camaraderie and some more chemistry continues to grow. Second year teams, just like when Julius Randle first got here, they brought him back for the second season. So I definitely think Evan Fournier has a place in this offense. He just needs to play better. And yesterday he knocked his shots down.
Yeah, and I say one thing that I think they've done different over the last 2 games is when somebody is hot, they roll the hot hand.
Yes.
Right. Fournier was hot last night. They kept trying to find ways to get him the basketball. When RJ was hot in the previous game against Indiana, that first half, they made sure that they kept getting him the basketball. I thought down the stretch he could have got the ball a little bit more, but Randle was also hitting, so, he wasn't, he got in his little thing a couple of times. Not a whole lot, but a couple of times, and I thought, they should have been trying to continue to look towards RJ. But I think they've done a better job of when somebody is hot, riding that person until they're not hitting anymore.
Can I say something towards that? I think we were talking about it off air with it's about fatigue. I think sometimes when hot hands not being able to be when the ball is not moving, right? Somebody like a Julius Randle, we talked about it. Julius Randle has only missed his first season. Other than that, he's been an Iron Man. He's played 75-plus games for almost 10 years, right? He's an Iron Man, right? He's tired out there. And when you're tired, like anybody in the world, your mental capability isn't on 100%, right? Like fatigue will, here G-Mo go. Whatever.
Oh, my God.
I need to hear what happens, but let me just finish. But your mental fatigue will get the best of you at times, right? And I think when Julius gets usually to the fourth quarter, he isn't sharp with his decision making because he's so tired, right? Like someone in the chat talked about the fact that Obi only played 10 minutes last night. Come on, man, we gonna burn him now. He shot a week. He was able to get some rest, probably some well-needed rest, especially, I don't know if y'all had COVID. It messes with your fatigue. So on top of being a top athlete on a team, number one option, you also now have COVID. So you got some rest. Then he came back and he's been playing good for us thus far. Let's get him some rest when necessary so that he can be sharper for us when it comes to the end of the game.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I think that's what will help us with allowing an RJ to get off when he's high, or Fournier last night.
Yeah. The one thing I'm seeing out of Randle is that he's not bringing the ball up all the time now. He's actually giving it off to either an RJ or in this case an Alex.
The guards.
Yeah. He's actually giving him up to him, letting him bring him up, and then he's getting set, for whatever he's going to do to try and get his 2 or 3 points or or whatever. That's the one thing that I'm seeing, and the other thing I'm seeing, at least I saw last night, was and Jay Boogie had brought this up on Freezy's show. They're actually driving to the basket, and that was also a reason why Evan Fournier was able to get shots off, because they were actually driving to the basket and kicking it out. So none of that's going from side to side. They're actually driving to it.
Yeah,
that was something I haven't seen in a while. So I got to give my kudos to that.
Yeah, let me get to this caller, and then I'm gonna get to Mr. Cool Card over here.
Why?
Caller,
why?
Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Okay. Yes, sir. My name is Brandon. I'm from Pittsburgh.
Brandon, welcome. Appreciate you, man.
You a Pittsburgh Steelers fan? Pittsburgh Steelers?
Of course, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right.
You always got to represent. Rough season. Franchise has been kind of shot for a little bit.
We ain't the Jets, so I ain't worried.
Time for rebuild. We'll get back to it.
We ain't the Jets, so we ain't.
Old man throwing thumbs down on me. It's like, listen, I'm one of the realest Pittsburgh fans. Ben's been shot for years. I get it, man. It's over.
All right. Enough of these shenanigans already. Can we talk about the Knicks, please?
Kristaps Porzingis. It's like that boy really ain't all that like that.
Yeah. So what's going on, man? What's your thoughts? Evan Fournier drops 41 points last night. What's your thoughts on that?
I think Evan Fournier is probably the biggest French scam the Knicks have had since Frank Ntilikina. So, this guy shows up when he wants to show up. It's probably a great time to go ahead and sell him high. Sadly, Obi has to go as well. Telling the truth, if we can get rid of RJ too, I don't care if he hit a game winner. I think it's about time to get rid of him as well.
Jeez.
Telling the truth, Tibbs, I don't think it's going to work. You've seen him have better rosters, and overall, he literally just sits here and he fails time and time and time and time again. It's like, that's the worst problem with Knicks fans. It's like, it's like being in a bad relationship with good sex. You love it so much, but goddamn, you're tearing yourself up, buddy. Can't be doing this.
Oh man. Sheesh. So what is your plan then? What is your plan? If you're getting rid of Fournier, you're getting rid of RJ, you're getting rid of Obi, what is your plan?
Our plan is we need a point guard, honestly. That's my biggest thing. We got to get a point guard. I don't know about Dame, because with Dame, when you really start thinking about it, like that abdominal injury, that's bigger than whatever anybody wants to say. That thing has been bothering him for years throughout his career. It flared up again in Tokyo. To me, that was like one of the bigger issues as to why he was performing or underperforming this year and how he still has to take time off. So Dame isn't going to be my guy. I was thinking that the 76ers might be a bit desperate. Also, Morey is an absolute retard. So we should probably take advantage of him because I think Leon could. But, Leon's too sleepy, man. I don't know about Leon. Like, Leon Worldwide West is like, you got some cool-ass nicknames, but you don't do cool-ass stuff.
I don't know, man. Obviously, I don't know. Obviously, you've been used to winning for a long time with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I'm saying? And always having a winning record. You feel real salty right now about these New York Knicks. With 19-20, you just came off a monster
it's like, come on
big
now,
win.
I'm from Pittsburgh. I got, I missed out on being a Cavs fan with LeBron. I could have did that. I could have sold out, but I don't like Cleveland. I'm from Pittsburgh. Could have been a 76ers fan. I don't mess with Philly at all. Could have been a Wizards fan, but honestly, have you ever met a Wizards fan before? Nah.
Hey, my man.
Listen, man, I've been around since 2007. Like,
okay.
Literally. I'm 25 years old now, man. Like, the Knicks is what made me an NBA fan.
All right.
And it's there's nothing more I want to see than us win. And it's like, I don't think it's ever going to win. It's like, it looks good on paper. It always feels so good in the long run. Or maybe not the long run, excuse me. It feels good in the short run. But it just never works out for us. And it's like, we beat our heads over. It's like, we pull in tips. People say that's good. It's like, this is the guy who got D Rose injured, who literally pissed off Jimmy Butler, destroyed Cat's confidence. Like, this guy had stacked rosters and never won anything with it. He's Luke Walton, but fatter. Like, this guy really ain't that good like that.
Oh, my goodness. Stop it.
I don't know, man. Listen, I'm going to let you go before you get us in trouble, man. I'm going to let you go before you get us in trouble. I appreciate your time, brother. I appreciate your time.
That's where I draw the line. That man is
just
slinging darts all over the place, man.
Just wow.
Jeez, what in the world? What's going on?
Luke Walton, but fat? That's disrespectful.
Oh, my gosh. Andy, you was about to say something, then I'm going to get to Mr. Cool Guy. I got to get to Mr. Cool Guy, man.
Yeah. I just wanted to shortly respond to what Josh said about, that we didn't do nothing else as far as, Fournier, right? Listen, Josh, the game that he had 0 points, he took only 4 shots. And when you watch the game, he basically had the ball in his hand 3 times to make a play, like a pick and roll or, those handoffs. The rest of the game, he was put in a corner and he stood there like a statue. This game, we saw pick and roll with Taj. Of course, just go look, Josh. So I'm not, trying to convince you. When you watch the 2 games, you'll see the difference.
Andy, no, it's not. You're comparing last game to this game. We're talking about over the entirety of the season.
Yeah, but
your argument about Evan Fournier to support him was saying that the Knicks don't do enough with him schematically, or they don't use him the correct way over the course of the season, right? You're comparing the last game to this game. That's 2 totally different arguments. The reason why fans are upset at Fournier is not just because he had an Oprah or a donut the last game. It's been over the past 3 months where he's taken 12 shots a game. He's averaging 12 shots a game.
Yeah, but, the previous season, he was averaging more shots. And we were expecting him to do, score the same amount of points or more him getting less of the playmaking and less shots, that's not going to happen basically. And we already talked about the percentages. No, listen, when and I told this to Jimo, when he's open, he's shooting over 45% from three if he's 6 feet open. And listen, we knew that he can't create for himself unless he has a screen or he has screens set up from him. So I knew that. I'm just shocked that fans think that he's gonna take the ball and he's gonna go on scoring rampages and just take his guy off the dribble and stuff like that.
Here's the thing. When I've watched him at Orlando, always gave us fits. And now that he's with us, it just seems as like I'm not seeing that same person. Now, could that be because those Orlando's teams were bad, that he was able to shine?
Well,
or
let me jump in, Kev, and explain that to you, because this happens. I see it all the time with so many players that we bring to this team, and we say, "Oh, they used to kill us," and they were killing with this team, they was killing with that team. The thing is, we don't see the ins and outs every single game with those players. As fans, we watch the Knicks every single day, right? We watch them have great games. We watch them have bad games. But we didn't watch Evan Fournier every night when he was in Orlando. So he could have did the same exact thing. He could have had nights where he had 5, nights where he had 30, right? It did the same exact thing. We talk about Bobby Portis and we talk about this player and that player. All we see is the averages that they have. You know what I'm saying? We don't see the consistency every night. So it's hard to say.
So why is it that we always say, like me and you, we love Willie Barton and we love the other guy that's at Orlando right now.
Terrence Ross.
Play for Toronto. Yeah, Terrence Ross.
Because
we say we love these guys.
Because
are we saying? Okay, go ahead.
Because we like the positive things that we see about them, right? We like those positives. We say those positives we think could work. You don't find out the negative until they get here. You know what I'm saying?
Everything
just
gets
like
amplified a little bit more.
You got a lady, you together, you get married, you don't find out, all of a sudden 2 years later you find out some stuff, you're like, what the heck?
I'm not touching.
What's going on?
You gotta go look.
Ken said I ain't touching that. Ken said he ain't gonna touch it.
Always say, Sim, you don't know a person until you live with them.
Exactly.
We are experiencing living with Fournier.
Exactly.
I gotta say this before you go to Gmo real quick. Yo, Andy, I was laughing because there's nobody. Yo, yeah,
that was
Andy,
funny.
You love Fournier, my boy.
That was crazy.
Yo, you be riding for Fournier.
Well, no, he's just like me when I was riding for Ntilikina. So there you go.
No.
At least Fournier, is.
Andy be dead serious though, bro. Yo, if it's this chat, if it's on the actual show or the chat, yo, you ride for 40. I will say that.
Yeah, Julito, really, Gmo can tell you that when we signed Fournier, I told you guys that he's a streaky shooter and he's not gonna be liked by fans. I told you day one. And it's not like I'm a fan. I just feel that Knicks fans' expectations are sucked out of something else. And I understand that, of course, he doesn't hit that much open shots that we would love, right? But we're not using the dude correctly, and we're expecting, him to be this guy that he was. He was a second option. He's not even a second option on the Knicks. When you look at, his, creation or playmaking, he's not. Guillermo, I think you're muted, bro.
Good.
Yeah, you're still muted. You got to plug in the mic. You got to plug in the mic.
Still no sound from you, Gmo. Still no sound.
Still no
we
sound.
Can't hear you, Zemo.
We can't hear you.
See that? This man, his cool card is all the way up the river somewhere. It's gone. Yeah. I don't know what's going on now. Yeah.
Just like his Jets.
He blew the mic out last night, probably.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, there you go.
I just wanted to say, first of all, you're not funny, Kevin. Second of all, don't talk trash about my Jets, man. But just want to say real quick, with Fournier, the funny thing is that you actually want what you're asking for from Fournier would actually put him in more contested shots, or relatively more contested shots, because when they stash him in the corner, or where he's away from all the primary action, that's where he's getting wide open shots. Not him being involved in the pick and roll, not him being involved all these action where the defender is closer to him, right? That game yesterday, there's nothing different we ran. He has a confidence issue. Like, New York is a different beast, whether that's good or bad. There's only certain people that can excel in New York, and unfortunately, he's just not one of those guys. Now, no one's asking for Fournier to average 25 points a game.
Exactly.
We just wanted that you hit a few damn shots to open up the offense. Yes, RJ has to be better and more consistent. Yes, Randle has to be better and consistent, right? But I paid you to come in and just hit shots. I didn't pay Fournier to come in here and defend. I didn't pay him to come in and handle the basketball. I just need him to hit open shots, and he hasn't done that. So when people say they criticize him wrong, come on, Andy. This is the NBA. You cannot make all these exceptions because a guy is European. Come on, Andy. Let's be honest. If this was anybody else, you'd be saying they have to come in and improve and do all this stuff. Do we have the proper system for IQ? Someone could argue that, right?
Yeah, they can. But
I got.
Right, so come on, bro.
Andy said, but that's not going to be me.
Fournier just got to be consistent. That's it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to agree with Guillermo. We asked him to come in and make shots. We already knew about his defensive deficiencies. We just asked him just to make shots, and we just didn't see that. We're not seeing that, at least in this first half of the season. But we still got more season to go.
I think for me, I agree with Andy wholeheartedly, where we do have some expectations as Knicks fans that's extremely high at times. At the same time, 0 points, bro. 0 points.
Only 4 shots, Julito, though.
I don't 0 points. You better go get a and one. You better go to the line and give me 1 point. 0. If I'm paying you $18 million a year and you don't put up a point on the board. A point. You better throw up a heave at the end of the game.
Yeah. And then the person he replaced, and Reggie Bullock, I'm sure Reggie hit 4 or 5 points. Was he? Did he ever have?
Reggie would give you 2 points, but he give you 2 steals. He stopped he's defending the best player on the opposite team.
He also stole the ball. He also stole the ball from Evan Fournier.
Exactly. I remember that. Yes.
People don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Don't talk about that.
See, my biggest thing with Fournier, he's been inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's not hitting shots, I just want him to do some other things too.
Something.
Rebound. Grab 4 or 5 rebounds, get a couple of steals. Even if you're 2 for 10. I get it. I just want to see him do something else too when he's not hitting those shots. And I know that's not what he came here for. I know. I get that. I get that 100%.
But you got people like, here's the dangerous thing, right? He had that one game, he had 38 minutes and he had only 8 points. And that was the first, I forgot, was the OKC game? It was the first game that Grimes came back, right? Now, granted, we lost by 15. I forgot which game it was, but it was
I think it was OKC.
It was OKC. I still think we were in it 70. It was around 74 to 71, something like that. I forgot which game it was, but I just remember screaming, "Why didn't Grimes get into that game to defend?" Now, I don't think it was an OKC game. I'm forgetting which one it was, but it's a game we lost, and Fournier was an absolute zero playing in the fourth quarter, right? So when Fournier's not producing offensively, he does nothing defensively. You're gonna start looking at that bench to say, well, why don't we play the high floor, low ceiling guy in Grimes, who at the very least can defend and possibly hit a 3 here and there. So I'm just trying to help out Evan Fournier. They paid you to do one thing.
And somebody that we could play in the fourth quarter. How about for maybe half of our games, we haven't played Fournier in the fourth quarter at all?
More than half.
$18 million, more than that, right? $18 million, we can't even play you for the last 3 minutes of a fourth quarter, last 5 minutes. That's unacceptable.
The other thing, but I will say,
sorry, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, what I was going to say was, I last night I did see him improve a little bit on the defensive end. The guys who was sticking didn't blow past him like we usually see.
Marcus Smart cooked him last night. I'm gonna be honest.
Never mind. Okay, never mind.
Marcus Smart cooked him.
Never mind.
Washington.
Never mind. Washington. Never mind. I'm sorry, Lito. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Andy.
I was going to say that, listen, I have no problems with Grimes getting minutes from Fournier. None. I'm just saying that if he would get the chances that he had in Orlando, he would be probably averaging his stats. But he's not getting the same plays, the same stats, and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, because people, I don't know why, when we signed a guy, we expected him to be, 25 points. And I'm guessing that's why, fans want him traded back.
That's not the expectation, though, Andy. That's not the
The
expectation.
thing about it is when he was in Orlando, you had both B.I.
We got you, kid. We got you.
Yeah, him and Fournier, those were the guys that were providing the points pretty much. And then, you sprinkle in a Terrence Ross and, whoever. But he was the one that made, he was the Gordon, yes. He was the main guy. And Fournier. He was that guy. And that's what we were expecting.
Well, I mean, you gotta adapt. You gotta find a way to produce. Let's hope that this, jump starts him. You know what I mean? And maybe with everything that's been going on, the Knicks are finally starting to see what everybody can do. And hold up, Kev, and how to use everybody. You know what I mean? It takes some time. We're at game 39 now. On tomorrow, game 39. I don't know. Let's get into RJ Barrett, but before we do that, I see G-Mo smiling. No, Kev, no, we're done with that.
I gotta say one more thing about Fournier.
No, we're done with Fournier. We're done with Fournier. It's nothing to say about him. Nothing to say about Fournier.
Tibbs could do what years ago what Riley did with Charles Smith and Anthony Mason. He started Charles Smith and then ended it with Anthony Mason. There you go. So you can do the same thing with Fournier.
He already does that.
He's already done it. Yeah, he's already doing that.
So,
well, no, I saw Fournier in there a little bit,
Yeah, so G-Mo. So G-Mo.
Uh-oh.
I gotta watch this. I gotta watch
G-Mo.
What happened? RJ Barrett, what happened?
I just want to say, eat your food, son.
You just gotta talk to me about your celebration last night, man. Talk to me about this. Did you have a couple of drinks or something? What's going on with the celebration last night?
On the Summer Jam screen. I need to see what happened. Put him on the Summer Jam.
I don't have the video downloaded. I was trying to get it.
All it was, if anybody's familiar with wrestling, I was a D-Generation X-Pop 1, 2, 3
I thought
kid,
about that.
Triple H fan.
But it didn't look good on screen.
The suck it sign to the camera because all the pent up. I was angry at RJ Barrett's game, so I was not happy with it. I thought he was playing one of the lowest IQ games I've ever seen, where he just kept trying to tag Robert Williams, right? So I'm not even. It's just that when he hit that, it was like a release of okay. Something good.
I know, but G-Mo, you have to admit that it didn't look like that.
Coupled. I didn't back up, so it's like half of my hands were hitting.
It just looked like this.
It's the
right. And then coupled with the high pitched squeal.
Yeah, that's like psychotic. It's a psychotic laugh. That's was passed down from generations.
I seen it. I was like, "What the heck is going on?" It was hilarious, though. It was funny. I was like, "Oh, maybe G-Mo was on something. He had to been on something last night."
Can I ask him a question? I have to ask him a question. What was wrong with RJ when Smart would get the ball and then give it to Tatum, and they were always working the switch a little bit and leaving Smart wide open for the three? Whose man?
Well, you mean when they were trying to help out on Tatum, and then they'll kick it out to Marcus Smart?
That was Fournier, and I wanted to respond to that really quick, G-Mo. I wanted to respond to that because somebody said Fournier did Smart didn't cook Fournier. Smart hit timely baskets. 14 points with saying missed threes. Someone said, "Oh, he missed the last few threes at the end of the." Nah, he had timely baskets. It's about context when it comes to stats. Sometimes he hit some shots that could have been a dagger for us if Fournier wasn't cooking like he was. So I say cooked because, listen, if RJ goes, RJ was 2 for 14 or something around it, some wild number like that last night.
Yeah,
I would say he cooked. I would say he cooked Tatum. He hit the buzzer beater in his eye. Tatum walked off looking sad. That's cooked, if you ask me, right? So it's about the context where you say.
Well, those shots that Smart was hitting was, you got to ask. Well, at least I'm asking, was that supposed to be Fournier or was that supposed to be RJ? Because they was getting. Okay, go ahead.
So from what I've seen yesterday, Boston was running a lot of the horn set, right? So either Schroeder can go either left or right. And what happens was anytime they were doing that, the Knicks defender, whether it be Burks or whatever, they would have to fight over the screen. The RJ had to fight over the screen, Fournier had to fight over the screen, and Alec Burks had to fight over the screen. They just were too late. And what happens is to help the helper, and then Boston would just swing the ball around and get that shot, or Schroeder would just take it himself.
What's the rule?
So, well, obviously you have to fight over the screen and recover, right? But what the Knicks did in the second half was it started to do a switch a little bit more. So instead of doing that, coming over the screen, what happened was they kind of stayed home and prevented Boston from knocking some of those shots down. So pretty much Tibbs just made the adjustment because they realized that he realized that we couldn't really stop those guys. They were just making all the shots and they were really hot in the first half. And that's pretty much what happened. So I think Tibbs made the adjustment. It was the reason why they stopped knocking their shots down.
All right.
In my opinion, that's what I thought.
Okay.
All right, so let's get into RJ, right? And I'm gonna start with Gmo. RJ last night, how do you feel? How do you feel about it? Just his game, the game that he had, and then of course the game winner.
Just a low IQ game, man. Trying to tag Robert Williams got paid largely off the one playoff game where he had 8 blocks against the Nets, bro. Like, the kid is, say what you want, he is probably one of the better rim protectors, right? The Celtics are 4th or something like that in blocks, and that's largely because of him, because who else is their rim protector on that team, right? So with RJ Barrett, he has to embrace that mid-range, right? And every time you watch him, when he shoots the mid-range, it seems always like it's planned, like that was the initial play all along, right? And I want to see RJ Barrett more like within the game where he has the defender on him and he's giving back what the defenders, he's taking what the defenders giving, right? So when he hit that mid-range, I was happy, but when he just kept attacking, and I'll say it's about RJ too. The past few games, if you look at his numbers, he's been taking a lot more attempts at the rim. So I think he is making a concerted effort to try to be a lot more aggressive and also efficient at the rim, right? You saw it the Pacers game. I think that's probably his best game against Turner. But yesterday was just, the nerves. I don't know what it is. It's just like he kind of gets consumed. Now, that last play, if you watch during the timeout or whatever, Tom Thibodeau, I believe they drew that up for RJ Barrett. I'm just saying, I believe they did, right?
I think so.
It's a tough play regard. Like, RJ hitting that's not like RJ skilled or whatever, blah, blah. But one thing I will say is that hopefully it builds up the confidence, because you have to remember, Jason Tatum has had his history against RJ Barrett. A few years ago, he hit that 3. That was the same year RJ Barrett, I think near the same spot, Kyrie Irving hit the same shot at RJ Barrett. Obviously, when Tatum went 7 for 30 the last game, everybody's like, oh, RJ Barrett, the last play, but Tatum missed. And I said, that wasn't really a great play by RJ, just Tatum missed. And y'all saw yesterday, when Tatum wants to play, when he taps into that Kobe tutelage, he could be that dude. He's scary. He's that good of a player or of a talent. It's just he's inconsistent. So when RJ Barrett hit that, I was more so happy just as a confidence boost. I mean, he also hit a 3 when freaking your boy Anthony Edwards was calling him out. Went 1 for 8 that game to hit the important 3 or the 3 when Anthony Edwards took. So RJ Barrett, I think at this point, he has a blueprint as to what he needs to do to get better, to be consistent with the league. I think it's also a confidence thing, because he's gonna have to play Tatum again tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's also got to play your boy Anthony Edwards in a few games. So with RJ Barrett, I'm just happy that he had the 3 to kind of get him out of that mindset. I think he was a little flustered when your boy Anthony Edwards said, "Oh, we knew he couldn't make that shot."
Right.
Not saying he showed it, but when you look at the elite players in the league, they all know who they are. The Anthony Edwards, they know who they are, and obviously RJ Barrett's not being considered. So when you play some of these guys and you have them, they may not say it, but when they switch, when they call for switches onto you and stuff like that, or they're saying they can't shoot it, they showing that they like, I know you food. Sim, you know that. If someone calls you out in a freaking intramural or whatever pickup game, and they're like, nah, switch, it's like, oh. And sometimes it's like, yo, I ain't on today, bro. Damn, I know I'm going to mess up. And it gets in your head, even though you know you're good. So we need RJ Barrett to take that mental step to be like, look, I may not be one of you guys, but you guys are not going to dog me out. Like, that's not going to happen. And I hope he does that when he sees Anthony Edwards, that's my son too. Anthony Edwards is a demon. I love his game. But when RJ Barrett plays Anthony Edwards, I want to see, because he's going to be talking trash. He's going to be doing the same thing. So I'm just hoping that it builds up confidence for RJ Barrett for the rest of the season. But yeah, not a good game yesterday by
But then vice versa for him on the defensive end, sticking Edwards as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Edwards. What was it last year, bro? Edwards was he was dogging everybody, but he was eating RJ Barrett laterally. Pause. That sounds weird, but he was destroying RJ Barrett's ankles laterally last season, bro. So look, RJ Barrett, he's never going to be considered one of those dudes, but he just has to be one of those who's like, all right, just back up off him. He could put up. He could do that. I mean, but also RJ Barrett's like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it should it be that Tom Thibodeau should tell these guys the game plan every play. Yeah, I mean, because I would have said, yo, bro, stop attacking Robert Williams. When Cantor's in there, attack him. Run pick and roll on him. Destroy Cantor. Robert Williams is not in there, don't do it.
Absolutely.
Same thing that's why the Miles Turner thing was so weird, because I would have told him, wait till Miles Turner is out to be more aggressive. But that game against the Pacers, bro, Miles Turner has been the boogeyman of RJ Barrett for the past 2 seasons. And that game, it was like, yo, whoa, what is this? What's this all about? So I don't know what it is, RJ Barrett. Maybe it's a confidence thing, but yesterday was kind of a reversion back to
how many blocks did what's name have last night?
7.
Seven.
Yeah, seven blocks. I don't know how many was on RJ, but 7 blocks. So
3.
Gmo,
I think he had 3 on RJ.
3 on RJ. Gmo, I found the clip.
Yo, I'm gonna be out real quick. I'm gonna go to back.
Put him on blast.
You don't have to do this.
Put him on blast.
All right, Magic was a good album. Magic was a good album.
Put him on blast.
I mean,
you don't have to do this.
You put me on blast.
You don't want me to show it? You don't want me to show the clip?
Put him on blast.
You can show it at the. I want everybody to talk about basketball first.
Okay, you want me to show? I'll show it at the end. I'll show it at the end.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna
watch this.
I'll show it at the end. I'll show it at the end.
Let's talk about basketball.
Trust me.
All right. It's not.
Go ahead, Andy.
Andy, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And if anybody, it's at the 2 hour and 35 second mark.
Oh man.
All right, on the video.
You don't have to. And look, we have a star here who Lito.
I'm no star.
Yeah, but you're gonna get
Yes,
clicked. So why are you mad?
Yeah, we getting you clicks, man. We getting you clicks.
Sim, can you repeat that timestamp for me, please?
It was. Let me see. Let me make sure I got it exactly right.
Yo, Sim, really, yo?
I just
2
want to laugh.
Yo,
2 hours.
It's cool.
Well, listen, I had a moment too. It wasn't recorded, but I ran around the whole David Buster like a madman. So we've had our moments, but
yeah,
you said 2 hours.
2 hours, 35 minutes, and 16 seconds.
I can't, man. I can't.
Yo, you don't have to do that. Let's basketball. RJ Barrett. Everybody hates him.
We got you. We're just getting you subscribers, man.
It's all right.
Subscribers, man. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, listen. I at the beginning on this RJ topic, I don't want fans to think that I'm an RJ hater and stuff like that. But how much do you think it was luck or skill on that shot?
I think it was luck.
It was luck.
Oh, that was luck.
That was luck.
As a matter of fact, I told my daughter last night, if RJ was not off all night long, he probably wouldn't have made the shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That was luck.
Yeah, because for me it's luck as well, and it's like 95% of luck on that shot. So
yeah,
listen, I don't think we're gonna see many of his buzzer beaters like that.
In the post game press conference, Mark Berman asked him. Mark Berman asked RJ Barrett, what were you guys trying to do on that last play? RJ was just like, you saw it, but
good.
I mean, he confirmed that the play was to go to RJ, and then whoever else was open would get the ball. Are you surprised that was the play?
Yeah, can I respond to you, Sam? So just like I said last night, RJ Barrett had an awful game leading up to like the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, right? That's when you start to see him be a little bit more active, I would say. But that's on Tibbs, right? That trust factor is on Tibbs. Trusting RJ Barrett to stay out there. Typically, Tibbs doesn't keep these guys in. If you're having a bad game, he's not going to have you out there in the fourth quarter. So it says a lot about who Tibbs is and why he's the right man for his job and why the players still believe in him in that locker room, right? That he kept RJ Barrett in the game. Not only that, but he called the final play for RJ Barrett to make that shot. That says a lot about who Tibbs is as a coach. And I just really give props to RJ Barrett for hanging in there, and for Tibbs to have that trust in him to go ahead and call that play for him.
Yeah.
You are a Tibbs apologist. I've come to that conclusion.
No.
I'm just messing with him.
I honestly, I agree, man. I think, there was a moment right before the buzzer beater where they were switching RJ out. RJ had made a misstep, I believe. I don't know if he got scored on or he didn't take the right shot, but he actually sat him down for I forget who. So I was nervous, man, because I'm not gonna lie, Tibbs hasn't had the best late game, rotation, execution, So for him to go to RJ, we've all watched probably every game for the last few seasons, if not last few years. Julie, we all thought Julius was gonna get the ball, man. We all knew Julius was going to get the ball, man. He's gotten the ball in every late game situation, come up to this point. And I think it was brilliant to go to RJ. You go to a guy who he's not having a good game. That's number one. So it's half and half, right? There's a balance of it where maybe could have. I mean, the shot was luck. If you want to just be honest, he with Jason Tatum, right? But I just think it does say a lot. You got to give credit where it's due. If we're gonna boo when they're playing bad, we got to give them credit.
But you know what else?
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Salida. I thought you were done.
No, I was just saying, and Tibbs made a smart decision by not going to Julius.
It was gutsy. You had to have guts to do something like that.
Yes, it was risky. It was gutsy. Let's try something new, man. We can't just allow Julius to get the ball. We know he's gonna give a few head fakes. And then my thing is, I would love it if Julius made every late game decision to just charge at the basket, go get a foul, and maybe he's not the best free throw shooter at the end of the game. But go get a foul. He's not clutch.
Yeah, and I guess in that situation, it was, kind of low risk, high reward because the game was tied. So you're not going to lose the game on that shot. You know what I mean? So you can.
So you try to do something. If we were down, he was going to Julius.
Either Julius or Fournier, Julius or Fournier. He was going to one of those guys, one of them two.
Well, here's the thing about RJ. How I know that he has that gene, that it gene. Not by just that shot, but he's done this before. When his rookie season, when we played Houston at the Garden, he hit the it wasn't the last minute shot. Last second shot. It was more like, I guess, we scored
second to last.
Second to last, yes. Yeah. He scored that off of PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker, who's known for defense. So that's when you knew that he had that gene in him, and you just saw something like that, right? That's why I think he was comfortable in shooting that shot, and why Mark Berman got the answer that he got last night, because this is like his second one of him doing this. So
yeah, and let's not forget his 2 assists in that fourth quarter too. He had 2 clutch assists because remember the last one to make sure to IQ. If y'all remember that one, Evan Fournier was stupidly bringing the ball down, and he lost it. Yes. And it scrambled somehow to RJ. RJ drives baseline. Even though he had Randle cutting in, he didn't make the pass, but he gave it to IQ. So I mean, RJ again. Granted, his offense wasn't good, but I would definitely like to see them implement him a little bit more on the ball. That's something I like to see more on the ball.
The playmaking, right? The playmaking, right? The playmaking, right? Is that what you're saying?
Just playmaking on screens, but not to say he's not perfect, but to have somebody actually penetrate into the paint area off of the dribble, outside of Randle. Who's that physical player? And I would love them to run Randle and RJ in the pick and roll. You have 2 north to south players.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's why Evan. Yeah, and that's why I think Evan was so good last night, because they were driving to the basket and they were able to kick it out to Evan. So I think that's another reason why,
most of Evan's shots came off of the dribble handoff, where Randle would go ahead and try to set the screen and then pass it to Evan. Evan would take a step and then knock the shot down.
I saw them driving it more. Between Randle and RJ, I saw them driving to the basket more.
Okay.
You think that, Julito?
Yeah. Go ahead, Julito. Go ahead.
No, I love when they're aggressive, man. We're not the best shooting team, man.
But you see it firsthand, them driving to the basket more.
Listen,
right?
anytime the Knicks are aggressive, we do well. when we are lackadaisical, when we hide in corners, when we live and die by the three, except last night, we don't do well. Let's go and get aggressive. We got some tough guys on the team. We got some, RJ Barrett, he couldn't do it last night. He can't really do it when it's like so many bigs in the paint. But when RJ is aggressive, when he's going to get those foul calls, when Julius is doing more than just stopping and popping at the three-point or giving two head fakes, when he's aggressive, we win. That's just been the name of the game thus far. Let's keep that going, and it worked last night.
Yeah, let me get to a phone call here. Co-host Kev, if it's okay with you, I'll get to the phone call.
See, ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. I'm still getting,
Co-host Kev. We got a lot of names. Co-host Kev.
No, I'm Cornerstone Kev, A.K.
Cornerstone Kev,
A.K. Shazam.
Yeah, we got Cornerstone Kev. We got Crossover Kev. Now we got co-host Kev. Anyway, let me get to the phone call, man. Flagpole.
Oh, God, I thought I lost that.
Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please. Hey, my man. You live? You there? Hello? I guess.
Get him off. See, that shit messing with me. That's why he mad at you because of what you're saying. That's what it is.
We just another call.
Yo, you guys hear me?
Caller, you're live.
You guys hear me?
He was so enamored in the conversation.
You got me on late. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, caller, you're live. What's going on?
Oh, okay, cool. Look, I just wanted to say, this whole Randle thing with the booing, we're not just booing because he had a bad first half. This team's been underachieving all year. We're 19-20. We should have picked up right where we left off last year, and we should probably be 4 or 5 games over 500 at this point. Randle's percentages are down. His energy is down. Certain plays. I mean, we all know he's a dog. We all know he's going out there giving it his all, but he hit the layup to put us down 7 midway through the third quarter. And the guy, completely loses his mind on the fans. And I'm like, who's he yelling at? Is he yelling at us? Now, I also want to say, I posted on Facebook about this and in Knicks Click, and I got absolutely roasted because everybody's, saying, they're taking Randle's side on this and that he's justified. But, the stuff about his kid and if people are going at his wife, that's messed up. So I think what's really happening is he told those fans to STFU, and hopefully he wasn't necessarily talking about the whole fan base, because if you want to go at the whole fan base, then that's a losing battle. So I think there's a couple layers to this thing, but overall, I'm happy we won, but he hit the layup. We're down 7. He didn't get us the win. He missed that. He went 1 or 2 from the line down the stretch like he always does. RJ did the same thing. Fournier won us that game, and Fournier's been averaging 13 points a game against non-Boston teams. So this is a great win, but this team is still very flawed, and the fans are impatient, and we kind of expected more. So that's, I think, why everybody's booing.
Yeah, no, and I do. I think there's way more than just the fans booing at the game. I think it's way more than that. I think you're exactly right. Yeah.
Totally.
Can I ask the caller a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, caller, I didn't catch your name. I don't know if you gave your name and where you were from, but I just want to ask you this. What's wrong with accepting that your expectations were wrong?
Well, my name's Pete, by the way, diehard Knicks fan. I grew up in New Haven, Connecticut. I just found your show. You guys look like you got a good show, so I'm happy to be on. I've been calling for a while. But as far as the expectations, sure, maybe the expectations were wrong, but we already know what Randle's capable of. He was top 5 MVP voting last year. He was most improved player. He shot 40% from 3 last year. So to see the regression was kind of upsetting. So I really don't know where he's coming from to say, to tell us to not boo, because we expect him to be what he was last year. He got paid. He's got to be the guy. And this is New York, this isn't Cleveland. This isn't Sacramento. Dude, you got to tell us with your play. Tell us with your play. Go close out a game. Go make a clutch shot. Don't be yelling at the fans like that in the third quarter when we're down 7. We've been getting blown out. How about the plus minus on the starting lineup? Seriously, we've been making too many excuses for this team. Our starting lineup is garbage. RJ Barrett's 250 in the league in player efficiency rating. Like, this team has major holes. Like, you know, I'm a little bit like kind of stunned that we've been making so many excuses. Like, sure, we've been bad for 20 years, but you know, now it's time to like turn the corner and start becoming like an elite team. We were the 4th seed in the playoffs last year. Like, you know, let's have some expectations, even if they're wrong, you know?
Yeah, I hear you. I think the Knicks came in with some expectations, and I don't think they've relaxed their expectations, though. I think they still have the same expectations. You know, they're not reaching them at this point. There's still a lot of time left in the season, and we'll see if they ever get there. I mean, I still have expectations of this team being over 500.
Yeah. Me too. I took them over 500 for 42 wins. I mean, I think they can still get there.
Yeah. So, you know, I think they can. I think they can. They got to, right now, they're in the midst of a stretch where they've got to win these games because January 23rd, I always talk about that date. January 23rd, that's when the schedule gets brutal. Like, really,
yeah,
really
we got a nice little stretch here. I mean, you know, like little things like, you know, you guys notice that we don't ever get any offensive rebounds. How many rebounds last night bounced in the paint, you know, and like we never get those. And we gotta just make the extra pass. And our team energy, you know, like that's what I like about Obi. I think people who want to trade Obi, I think that's insane. Obi Toppin has athleticism that we haven't had on this team like in forever. I mean, we had the last guy we had that could jump out the gym like Obi was Amari, and he was already, you know, down on his knees. So we got to like develop our young guys. We got to keep drafting well. I think we're finally figuring out how to draft well, and we just got to keep establishing the culture, you know. But I think Randle's really got to just let his play speak for itself and kind of keep his composure. I think he's getting a little bit too flustered. He's getting really emotional, which is good, you know, channel that energy in a positive way, but not really to the fans, you know, like put it out on the court and take it to the other team. And I think everything will be good. But this is definitely a pivotal point for him because, you know, there's going to be a lot of questions. And you guys know what happened with Javi Baez when he came up to hit when he did the same stuff. The fans booed him like crazy. Wow. So the fans are going to be there's going to be a mixed reaction at the Garden next time Randle touches the ball.
You know what's going to happen.
But Javi Baez, they started cheering his name again once he started. Here's the thing. I agree with you that Randle should
they did.
He should have more emotional intelligence, right? But on the flip side, we can't sit here and say he can't be emotional while we're being like. To me, I don't care. Like, it's just like, okay, you got mad. All right, I'll give you that one. It's like iron sharpen iron type of thing where it's like, oh, we boo you if you trash, but if you do good, okay, because New York, we live at extremes with our sports icons. When you do bad, you're the worst of the worst. When you do good, you're greater than anybody else in the league. So it's the same with us. Like, I don't even take much. Okay, he put his hands down. Same thing, Javier Baez. I'm a Mets fan. I'm a diehard Mets fan. I didn't care for that.
As much as they're
it's like Javier Baez is a beast. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, who cares? Like, we as fans, we got to realize too, man. Not a lot of these guys, they played in coddled situations, right? Yeah. So in that sense, they're gonna be more emotional than most, right? When you think about it, New York fans are tough. So but on the flip side, we can't react when they react as well too. So it's just like it's more so the media kind of as soon as I'm watching SNY and they're making this bigger than what it is. I'm like, you guys took away a great win to talk about one small thing that Randle did. I'm pretty sure most of the people in the crowd didn't care about. So
no, this is not a small thing though. I really don't think this is a small thing. Everybody's talking about this today. Stephen A. is going to be pretty pissed off about this. I'm waiting for his comments. I don't remember a player telling the whole fan base to shut the F up. But that was over the top. Out of line, in my opinion. The thumbs down is okay. I didn't really mind that. But the thing is, Randle's going to have to clarify what he really meant. But here's this.
Hold up.
He doesn't have to.
Hold up, Kev. See, this is the thing. Randle did the thumbs down. If none of the reporters asked him about it, we wouldn't even know. Somebody asked him about it, and he said, "This is what it meant." You said that's not true?
No, because as Knicks fans, we pay attention a lot of stuff. The way people with their
right,
body
and
language
most people,
I didn't know what he meant by that.
Most people, when he did the thumbs down, they thought that he was talking to the Celtics. They didn't think he was talking to the fans. They thought he was talking to the Celtics.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't know what it was.
I had a feeling it was the same thing that happened last year with the thumbs down, because the thumbs down is kind of established now in New York. But what I think Randle was saying is, maybe he wasn't talking to the whole fan base, like I was saying before, because people were talking about my wife and my kid, and I'm glad Randle's got COVID. Like, I don't condone any of that. I think 99% of Knicks fans wouldn't behave that way. So if it's just frustration from that, then maybe it's okay. We give him a pass, but you can't talk to the whole fan base like that, because the majority of the fan base are behind him and support him.
Yeah, I think it's the wrong fight to go against the fans, right?
Yeah.
Channel that energy and go against the players, man. Go against those guys who come on our court. How about the guys who come on our court and have demolished us? And, we've been a horrible home court team. We have not done bad. Bring that energy there. Don't bring it to the fans. Yeah, we can be an annoying group of people, but this is sports. You played in L.A. This is not your first time playing in a big market. You know what I mean? You played in L.A. You played in New Orleans, where they probably loved everything you did and they didn't care what you did, right? So, you're in New York, bro. Toughen the skin up, go to work.
When does it go beyond? When does it go?
We're aware that, of course, there are people, knuckleheads, who say things obnoxiously and are disrespectful, right? But we're not gonna. I think we need to stop making the 5% of fans who do stuff like that account for millions and hundreds of millions of fans that don't do that, right? Like, even when I said what I said about his wife, and I didn't say anything disrespectful, I just didn't think he had the best, I think, compared to other NBA players, he's not on the top list. That's right, in my opinion. But when I said that, I didn't say that on the timeline. I said it in the spaces, right? It wasn't recorded. It was right. And I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm just saying there's a time and a place for everything, right? There's a time and a place for everything. Right. And stop taking it as all those 2% or even my one take is every single fan's take. It's not.
Yeah. Hey, Peter, I appreciate your time, man.
Don't be dramatic, Gmo. Don't be dramatic.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. Good show.
Hey, Pete, real quick, I'm an admin for that Knicks click, so I'm be looking for you, okay? I'm an admin.
Oh boy, no wonder why that page is failing. Nah.
I want to say something in regards to this, because I don't disagree that the media is spinning this out of control. The media is absolutely spinning this out of control. However, the reason why they do that, right, is not just to sell papers like everyone thinks. There are some fans out there that will eat this stuff up. You just heard the caller clearly, right? There's fans that, and I get it. A lot of fans don't, a small group of fans don't stand for everyone else. However, there's a large section of the fan base that feeds into all of this little stuff. How Randle's acting on the bench. Randle's putting his head down. So that means that he's not engaged in team meetings and he's really not the leader that we need. There's a lot of fans that really feel that way. And I've said it time and time again, and I will repeat it here again today. The Knicks fan base, the majority of the Knicks fan base is just as toxic as the national and local media, because they feed into a lot of the stuff that the media puts out there. They create some of these narratives that we're talking about, that we debate about, right? And it may not necessarily be true. And I'm a part of that. So I'm not going to exclude myself in it.
Yeah, we came right back around to it. We were trying to move in, talk about RJ Barrett and the game winner, so we could end on a celebratory note, and we came right back to Julius Randle. You know what I'm saying? And the way that he addressed the fans, we came right back to it. So I want to go right back to RJ Barrett. Right. And I want to go right back to RJ, because going into last night's game, he was averaging over the last 3 games. And, Uncle Fulio was mad that I posted, that RJ Barrett was averaging 25 points over the last 3 games, and compared it to Jason Tatum, who was averaging that over, the season. And the reason why is because I couldn't get Jason Tatum's last 3 games because he was in health and safety protocols. So instead of saying he had 19 points in his last game, I just took what he had over the season. You dig what I'm saying, Uncle Fulio? But R.J.
That's
Barrett.
misleading. Very misleading.
Why is it misleading? It said right on the graphic, R.J. Barrett's last 3 games.
Uncle Julio's R.J. public enemy.
How is that?
#1.
How is that?
I'll be that.
It was the matchup. It was the matchup of the night. I'm saying this is what R.J. Barrett has done over his last 3 games. He's been playing well.
Season? How come he don't do the whole season?
Because I was showing that he's been playing really well over his last 3 games. And over his last 3 games, he compares to what Jason Tatum was doing over the season. His last 3 games, that was pretty clear. It was pretty clear. And if you listened to what I was saying, it was pretty clear that I said over R.J. Barrett's last 3 games, this is what he's averaging. And for Jason Tatum, this is what he's averaging for the season. Can R.J. Barrett continue to play at this level? Pretty clear what I was saying. In no way was I saying he's matched up with his production. It was all about those last 3 games. Pretty clear. I don't think there was any miscommunication there. Or in any way was I trying to trick anybody. It's all magic, no tricks.
You tricked me.
Yo,
right, G-Mo? It's all magic, no tricks.
Real quick, man. Yo, Sam, it's always a pleasure anytime I get to rock with y'all.
Polito, real quick.
What up?
Real quick, did you with the passing of Sidney Fournier, did you ever have the chance to meet him?
No, I did it, man. And thank you for bringing that up. Rest in peace, Sidney Poitier, man, a legend in the game. I studied a lot of his work, and I'm sure a lot of other African-American actors has as well. You know, I know Mike spoke very highly of him. So, that's, rest in peace, Sidney. I didn't get the chance to meet him. So, but thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely. But no, it's always a pleasure, man. You know, y'all are a crazy group of people, man. But y'all are some of the best to do it in the business, man. So I appreciate it.
You got to bring me to a game, man. I got to sit on Celebrity Road.
I got you, Kev. I told you, my lady, man, she ain't giving up the seats, but
There's got to be one night where she goes with her girlfriends and everything. You be like, okay, let's
I got you. All right. I see y'all soon on my brothers. Talk to y'all later.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, now we got Celebrity Road, Kev. Come on, Kev. What you gonna do? What's going on? What's going on, man?
They're gonna put that big milk dud on Garden Vision. I see it.
Yeah, but anyway, you know what I'm saying?
I'm be like, yeah, look where I'm at. What?
But anyway, Uncle Julio came down on me. He came down on me, and then of course last night, R.J. Barrett, 13 points. Obviously hit the game winner. When you put it all together, he's had an amazing 4 games for the New York Knicks since Julius Randle was out. And then when Randle came back, he's, played aggressive in that one, that first game back. He really played aggressive. Last night, he stuck to it. No matter what was happening, he stuck to it. And can he continue? Can he continue? To just be in it, I think hopefully last night showed him and showed us and showed the coach that, and even though the shot was luck, I don't care, that he has the mental toughness to just stick it out, even when he's not playing well, to keep his head in the game, still find ways to contribute. Because down the stretch, like G-Mo said, he had a couple of assists. He went to the cup and got fouled. It was a nice move to the cup, got fouled. You know what I mean? And still produced down the stretch in the fourth quarter when the Knicks needed him to. Had 6 assists on the night. We asked the question, can Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett take this team to the playoffs? G-Mo, I'm going to ask you.
That is a tough question. Can they take them to the playoffs? So with Randle, I think a lot of it is mental decision-making, uses physicality, rolling to the basket like he did in the Pacers game. I mean, would create wonders for this offense because we really don't have much of a pick-and-roll game on this team. RJ, offensively, those two, they could average 50 to 60 points a game. I mean, that could carry you because I think that those two will open it up for guys like Fournier, because now you have to pay attention to that action. It will probably drag Fournier's man to come out and help. That would definitely open up some shots for him. Create more space on the outside for guys like IQ as well, too, because how many times you've seen where it's 4 or 5 guys on the outside and the offense looks stagnant because Randle's not rolling to the basket. So to get us to the playoffs, Sim, I just looking at the reality of things, bro, that January 23rd, what's the name?
Doomsday.
Look. In normal times, if we had like other players or whatever to help, if we had a healthy Derrick Rose and we had a defense to lean back on, I would say yes. But just those two offensively by themselves, and obviously doing better than what they're doing now. I don't know, Sim, because that schedule you pulled up, bro.
What's the schedule? I'm sorry, because I didn't see.
You're gonna have to go look at it, but it's a tough schedule. It's a super tough.
I'll bring
schedule.
it up right now. I'll bring it up while you guys are talking.
Yeah, from like January 23rd to March 6th. You know, we play a super tough schedule. Let me get to a couple of super chats here that I missed for a while. Rob Al, thank you for the super chat. He's probably not even here. He probably was on his way home from work or something. He said, should we sell high on Evan Fournier and go for Reddish and Gallo? See, Gmo says yes. I think no. I think we got to, let these guys play for a little bit. See what happens, man.
No.
You know what I mean? See what happens. I mean, are you going to bring in Reddish and Gallo and get much different?
What?
It's going to be up and down, too. Gallo is up and down just like
I'd rather have that piece for... Look, the way RJ played, and it's not just for RJ, right? But the way he played with Wiggins, another athletic wing alongside him, I would like to see RJ Barrett have... We don't... Like, when you look at our starting out, most of our players, who are our slashers? Who are our so-called explosive players who get to the basket? Now, Cam Reddish is still work in progress, but I'll go on the upside of Cam Reddish. I have Grimes
I get
as
that.
a guy that I could develop in the next 2-3 years, or maybe even 1-2 years to do a lot of what Evan Fournier did and then provide defense. If I could have a guy like Cam Reddish,
I like Cam
who
Reddish.
could be a dynamic two next to
Cam
RJ.
Reddish. I like Cam Reddish. I think you can probably, you can maybe find other ways to get Cam Reddish if you want Cam Reddish.
How?
Right.
I don't know.
Pick.
How?
Did
You only
reports
make
were out that they
one
want a
pick.
first-round pick?
I mean, Atlanta was looking to move him.
Right, but they probably would still want a first-round pick with Fournier too. I know the contract and stuff of the match, but you probably have to give up a first-round pick in that trade anyway. If you don't have, what you say? If you don't give up Fournier, I mean, who else is the other guy going to give up to get a Cam Reddish?
I don't know.
I would give up Kevin Knox in the first round pick. I get for Cam Reddish and another contract filler.
Okay, honestly,
I get better elsewhere.
I mean,
Kevin Knox
I'm just saying.
I just peeped that schedule.
Consistency means something in developing your team, right? It's been 38, 39 games. Consistency means something. I'll go back to it. When you look at last year's team, that starting five had been together for an entire season. And I can guarantee you that meant something going into last year. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Huh?
Derrick Rose wasn't there for the season, right? And he fit in perfect. Not say Cam Reddish would. Elfrid Payton was there the whole season, and they couldn't get rid of him.
Well, listen, we understand that he fit in perfect, but before Derrick Rose got there, they were playing good defense, right? They were right there in the play-in, maybe even in close to the AFC. Just, I mean, at this time last year, they were 500 with that team, without Derrick Rose.
Yeah, but
right, without Derrick Rose, and a lot of it has to do, in my opinion, with the chemistry and the consistency that they brought in from the year before. Just knowing little things about each other. Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, this was their second year together. Elfrid Payton and Julius Randle was their third year together. Mitchell Robinson had been with, it was his second year with, maybe his third year.
Yeah, I think it was his third.
Or third year on the team or whatever. But he had been there with RJ Barrett and Julius Randle, played with them for a while. Reggie Bullock had been there and played with them for a while. So those 82 games beforehand, they meant something going into last season. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but
they meant something, but the Knicks being hovering around 500, like you looked at that team, so let's be honest. It wasn't until your boy Derrick Rose came where you legit thought they were like a successful
but a
team that could take a leap.
But
like,
that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
We played around Elfrid Payton the whole season.
But did you expect that team as constructed before Derrick Rose to be 500?
Yes, I did.
But Sim, you're talking about half the season.
But that's not my point. What I'm saying, for that half of the season, I get what you're saying about Derrick Rose. I'm not talking about them being 10 games above 500. I'm saying from the beginning of the season. 500. From the beginning of the season, did you expect that team, as constructed, without Derrick Rose, to be a 500 ball club?
I did.
No, I didn't.
No, but
again, it's not the whole. I know what you're saying, but it's not the whole. Their teams have had great first halves or better than expected.
I get that. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. Right? What I'm talking about is the reason why they were able to have that start is because they had consistency coming in from a previous season. Right? They understood some of each other's tendencies because they played together. Right, and so they were able to
coach and Tom Thibodeau that was able to establish something that didn't need great. You did not need great talent for it, which was defense.
I mean, I get that. I get that.
It's not necessarily. I don't think it's necessarily. All these guys, they knew how to, because they didn't really like in terms of chemistry. You never looked at that team and said, "Oh man, the chemistry in this team." It was.
I'm not saying that they had absurd. They did the first half. They did have some. They did have chemistry together. I have a question. They did have chemistry together.
I don't know, but Randle had an absurd year, and they had defense.
See, I believe
RJ was doing bad to start out the season. Doing terribly to start out the first half. Or so it wasn't as if like they came in. It's like, oh wow, these guys look like the Warriors.
But
in terms of chemistry.
No, we're not saying that. But they didn't look like the season before. They had gotten better because that starting five played together. That entire starting five played together from the previous season. If you don't, we're talking about 39 games, literally. We're talking about 39 games, right?
I have a deep question.
Well, hold on. We're talking about 39 games. That's what I'm saying about the consistency. Like, can we give them some time to build some consistency, to build some kind of chemistry or something? It's always not going to happen from the beginning.
Sim, on Evan Fournier, long term, in your heart of hearts, do you feel you would want to stay onto that contract for the whole say just 3 years? I know it's 3 and an extra. Do you want to stay on that contract? Because we're gonna, if you have an opportunity,
it's been 39 games. I don't know.
My question.
I would say this. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let me just say one thing, because just like you said, in the first half of a season, you just said it about last year. We've seen teams come out and play terrible in the first half or play great in the first half, and in the second half, they're garbage. We've seen players and teams come out and play terrible in the first half, and then in the second half, they're much better.
You have a super chat.
Am I right?
Nope.
Is it possible that Evan Fournier can come out and play? Is it possible that Evan Fournier could start making 48% of his shots from the field? 47%? Or just shoot on average? Even if he shoots on average.
Yeah, I have a question.
Right? I mean, is it possible? I think it's entirely possible that it could happen.
That may be true, but you also have a possibility that you have a player in Cam Reddish. Because think about this. The Knicks have trouble attracting players. When you have opportunities to get these, I'm not even talking about the KPJs, but you talk about talent that just doesn't fit. Maybe the team has a surplus. Maybe they're trying to flip it to get a pick. When you have an opportunity to acquire solid floor, but deep, like legit ceiling players, and guys like Cam Reddish, guys in the NBA, guys he's played against, saying, yo, he's the best player I played against. He is a beast. And I'm not saying that accounts for everything. Like the Knicks have to be, that's how they have to probably get these guys, make it through trades, because the drafting, I'm not sure we're ever going to get to those top players, right?
I think that's over.
When you talk about the superstar or the stars, I'm not sure they're coming to the Knicks. All that CAA connection stuff don't mean nothing. I don't think it means much. So when you have an opportunity to get these guys, and I could push off of Evan Fournier, even if Evan Fournier is going to shoot 45% down, if I can get a two guard who might be a star in this league and might open up the offense and might give us something that we haven't had in years, which is a dynamic two. I'm taking that leap, Sim. I just have to.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't.
Guys, I gotta ask the question. We're talking about Evan Fournier.
Hold up, co-host. Kev. I'm gonna get to you. We're having a conversation, man. I'm not saying you wouldn't go get Cam Reddish. I think there's other ways that you probably can get Cam Reddish. I like Cam Reddish. I really do like Cam Reddish. I like him a lot. And I think he would fit well with this team. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I'm not just going to try to – you got to have some consistency. So when you got a guy come in, they're coming into something that's kind of consistent and see if you can start to grow and develop something. We're talking about 39 games. That's all I'm saying.
Can I go ahead, Kev? Go ahead.
I'm just not in a rush to.
No, wait up. Kev. I'm gonna stick in here. I just want to tell you guys that Julius Randle just apologized. On
serious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did he?
All right.
Nah.
Another.
I wish that he didn't, but
I wish but he didn't.
I wish that he didn't.
Another glaring thing that we also have to consider. I mean, we're talking about Fournier. We also got to talk about our point guard situation as well as Kemba, because how long is Kemba going to last for? I mean, he's back on the mend right now.
I know. I mean, we know.
Can I respond to that? So one, Cam Reddish is a heck of a player, a young guy with I think a lot of potential. So I would definitely want to go bring in a player like that. And I totally agree that the only way for us to get said player is if we make a trade for said player. Absolutely, I agree with that. Right. The second thing is we have to assume that Atlanta is willing to first of all take Evan Fournier, right, and willing to give up some pieces to make the money work. That's the second thing that we have to assume. The third thing is I totally agree with Efrain Lopez in the chat. He said that Fournier's contract is built to be traded either next year or the year after that, right? Because it's going to be expiring soon. So I think that's when the front office is going to look at Fournier, see what he's done over the course of it, and then try to move his contract. But to just rush and do it right now, not saying that you're necessarily willing to do that right now, but to rush and say that we should just get rid of Fournier, just for this player or for that player, I think is kind of premature. We have to still wait and see, like Sam is saying, give us some time, and then next season evaluate it and be able to do it. I just think right now it's too early right now to judge the front office on what they're going to be and what the team is going to be. Obviously, there's a way for the Knicks to either keep Evan Fournier for the length of his contract or more than likely move it. And I think that's what's going to happen, but it's not going to happen right now.
I don't think anybody was judging the front office. And the thing about it, right, is that if I have an opportunity to get a player now, because this offseason, not a lot of teams have much cap space, right? So they're going to be a lot of sign and trades, right? So if I'm just saying, you could have a ran dry type of situation. You may not have the same opportunities next season. So if I have the opportunity to do it now, and obviously, yes, Evan Fournier may not be there. I'm just saying, hypothetically, to the chat, if Evan Fournier was able to do it, right? You make the trade. If you have an opportunity to do it now, you do it now. Yes, obviously, his expiring contract in years later makes it a lot more attractive, right? But if I have the opportunity to do it now, I'm going to do it now. I'm not waiting for next year to hope other players come due or come free. Because how many times it happened? A player, this guy's supposed to come to the Knicks, or this blah, blah, and it never happens, right?
I get it.
Agree. I agree. But you also have to assume that Atlanta is willing to put him out there, and that opportunity is there right now. It's just not there. Now, if it's there right now, I agree with you, but we can't assume that it's necessary.
No, I'm not assuming it's there. I'm just saying if you can make that trade, right? And yes, to everybody, I'm not saying do it, force it, but if you can make that trade, I'm making that trade.
Andy? And then I'm gonna get to a couple.
I just Gmo, but you're just talking about that Cam Reddish Gallo for Fournier trade, or for just to get the squad better, or you're sold on Cam Reddish?
Would it be to make the squad better, mostly with Cam Reddish, right? Gallo's a little bit older. I mean, he could probably hit some shots here and there, but I think it's what they want to get rid of Gallo. They want to get him off the contract. So I'm kind of weaponizing what I have in terms of.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask, if you like Cam Reddish like that, like he's worth giving up a Fournier for him.
Yes, a Fournier for what is a Fournier? What? Huh?
Bro, if this trade happens, and I'm gonna see Cam Reddish standing in a corner just waiting and doesn't get the ball,
Andy, Fournier cannot dribble the basket. You know, it's funny. Fournier had 41 or whatever points yesterday, right? He almost threw the game away by drilling into no man's land, losing the ball until fumbled around RJ. Like, Fournier cannot handle the back. Andy, come on, Andy. You watch this guy. He plays at half a speed compared to everybody else. He is not a ball handler like that. They run so much action for this guy. And here's the thing, Andy. He gets these opportunities. Like, RJ doesn't get these two-man opportunities with Randle. Fournier typically does, right? And he doesn't look good. He can't dribble the ball. Every play or every game, there's a possession where he has a ball in his hands and literally loses it. out of bounds, some type of weird turnover where he's operating at half speed. I don't know what it is, but I'm not putting the ball in Fournier's hands like that, bro. They see this night in, night out, and it's not good. Cam Reddish, I can give him the ball and have him attack off of screens. Are we comparing Cam Reddish's ball handling skills to Fournier's whatever the hell that is?
And Guillermo, and imagine this situation happens, right? You do the trade. How much money you gonna pay Cam Reddish? Because he's an expiring contract.
Yeah, you have to extend it.
Yeah,
So
I'm looking to extend him.
For how much?
I don't know.
But it's gonna be around 15 at least, right?
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna have 15 extra million because Gallo basically erases it with Fournier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're getting. I'd pay Cam Fournier's money over paying Fournier money now, bro.
So
yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, but
Fournier's trash, bro.
But in that trade, you're trading away 17
million, get 18 for Gallo, and then you gotta resign Cam Reddish for an extra 18, right? So you're gonna be like 20 million, over the cap, extra cap.
Right. How long is Gallo's contract?
I think it's 2 more years, right? Gallo's 2 more.
Right. So you're paying like 18 million for Gallo, and then you gotta. And so for Gallo and Cam Reddish, you're paying over $33 million.
Yeah. Then you're not going to get even a $3.5 million, player in the offseason. Not even that.
Hey guys, I gotta go. It's been a pleasure.
But I gotta
oh my gosh. I don't know what I'm gonna do. My co-host is leaving me. I don't know how I'm gonna handle it. Co-host Kev is leaving me. Sheesh.
You know what, Sim? You're the godfather. That's all I'm gonna say. Gilmore, it was great seeing you. I haven't seen you in a long time. It's great seeing you.
Ben is retired. Who cares?
Oh, wow. Hey, your Jets wish y'all had a Ben Roethlisberger.
His name is called Zach Wilson. Chill out, bro. His name is Zach Wilson. You good. You good.
Love y'all. Take care.
All right, cool. One more thing, Cornerstone, before you go. Somebody else in the chat, I forgot who. I don't remember who it was. They called you Cough Over Kev too. You got a lot of nicknames.
Cough Over? What?
Cough Over Kev, but you didn't cough today. Today that was Gmo.
You did not get on him at all. That's the reason
I just try to hold it in before you guys.
That's the reason why you always take that.
Because he's been taking himself away from the microphone and cough.
No, stop.
You cough right into the microphone.
Stop.
Right into the microphone.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. You're bad.
All right, Kev. Appreciate you, man.
Okay. All right.
Peace.
Okay.
All right, later. All right. Before we get out of here, this game on Saturday. This is going to be an intense game. The Celtics want to get this win. As a matter of fact, it's more than just intense. It's important because the win. Well, if the Knicks win, they win the season series. If the Celtics win, I don't know if they have to win by a certain point total or whatever to win the season series. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's important with the way that they are right now in the standings, so close to each other. Winning the season series in this matchup is going to be important. It's important for the Knicks to get this win. It's obviously going to be important for the Celtics. They're going to come out trying to ball. What do we got to do to get this win? G-Ma, I'll start with you. Come around to Josh.
I would say to guard Tatum, you hope Tatum goes into one of those bad streaks. Got to watch out for Brown as well too. Again, I try to run more action with Randle, put him in a low post, abuse their big men, especially when Robert Williams is out. Try to control the boards against them. I think they're one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the league. I think they're like 8th or so. I might be dead wrong, but I saw a stat yesterday on Basketball Reference. I can't remember. Yeah, I would, again, try. I don't know. It's tough because that first half was so bad. Like, you had Schroeder, Brown, and Tatum all abuse us. But they are a team that can give up. They can bog down. Udoka said it yesterday, basically implied they get kind of frazzled. They do lose composure. I think they're one of the worst defensive fourth quarter teams in the league. So yeah, I try to stay in the game with them, try to control the boards, attack away from Robert Williams, and don't let their defense rest. How many times you saw in the first half play this 5-out BS concept and their defense resetting, and it's like we're trying to jack shots and we're down by 20 at one point. So yeah, those are most of my keys to the game. Don't get hyped from this game that we just won. It means absolutely nothing for this new one. Look at this as these guys trying to get revenge on us.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's going to be a totally new game. Andy?
I think Jimo forgot the most important thing, that he was trying to sell this narrative. That Fournier only plays good versus Celtics. So I don't know why he didn't mention that we got to live and die with Fournier's shots to get the W.
Wait, Andy, Sim, did you do your over under for Fournier? Because I was so mad when I didn't do it when Andy did the 0. Please. Can we do an over under for Fournier for tomorrow, please?
It's not only Fournier.
Yeah.
Player of the year.
There's probably going to be one from Thrive Fantasy. So yeah. We'll
over under 41. Guillermo, what about you? Over under 41.
Over under 41. If you said 30, I'll take you up on that bet. I say under 30. I'll take you up on that bet.
You know they're going to key in on him. They're going to key in on him. So that, it's going to be tough for him. They're going to key in on him because he went into last night's game averaging 32 against them. Now he's averaging 35 against them. Yeah, they're going to try to key in on him. But go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, listen, Guillermo, I think, covered it all. I think, the rebounding battles are really important. I would love to see us use Mitch a little bit more because, I think, that easy alley-oop play that we had almost at the end of the game, Mitch was like running, doing really cardio. They didn't even look at him. And I think really that playing pick and roll, even with Mitch or Taj, is going to open up, the rest of the team also. So rebounding and trying to, jumpstart Mitch versus maybe gets Robert Williams in some kind of a foul trouble. So that would be really good as I see it. And I hope Fournier is going to be hot.
Yeah, I hope so. Josh?
So for tomorrow, I'm just hoping that the Knicks find a way to get Julius Randle, isolated more on Robert Williams. I think that is a matchup that he's just going to win and he's going to dominate. Just like in the first game of the season, he dominated that matchup. Same with Grant Williams when Grant Williams gets swapped over to him. So I want to see the Knicks try to go a little bit small, a little bit early on. I understand that rebounding is a concern. However, I think offensively, for us to get in our offensive flow a little bit better, you get Julius Randle to take either Robert Williams or whoever out that paint. That'll open it up for RJ Barrett to score easier inside. So, I think tomorrow will be a really good game. I think it'll be close, just like yesterday's game, and I think the Knicks are going to be able to pull it out. But Fournier has to show up again.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Any chance that Kemba Walker plays tomorrow?
Oof.
I don't know.
I mean, they said
did we really got the info on the knee, or they stuck with the soreness? I think they only said that it was sore. So
yeah, it's soreness.
They say sore arthritic knee. That's what they say on a
sore arthritic.
Yeah.
I think they skipped the arthritic.
Oh no! They say I'm looking at New York Daily News. Kemba Walker out again with sore arthritic knee.
But what's the official NBA report say?
Sore knee. It has to be sore.
I think they just put sore knee. The post, the Daily News throws in there arthritic.
Right. Sorry, yeah. Sorry, my bad. You're right. They wouldn't destroy him like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think tomorrow's going to be an intense game. It's going to be a battle. I wouldn't put it past some couple of guys getting testy out there. I don't think you can rely on Evan Fournier to, drop 40 or 30. You know what I mean? I think he's still going to have a good game. He just knows how to play against his team. Somewhere between 20 and 30, I guess. I want RJ Barrett to have a good game. I want him to be aggressive. I think Randle's going to get his, find a way to get his. I want RJ Barrett to be aggressive, and we still need another X factor. Last night it was Emmanuel Quickly. Big shout out to Ayub Matan. He said the IQ hate has to stop. He's the type of player that needs the green light to develop. Do you guys think we should give him the green light? No, I don't think we should give him the green light. He can't handle the yellow light right now. So, you know what I mean? I don't think we should give him the green light to just go all willy-nilly all over the place. But, you give him a little bit of rope and then, you pull him in when you need to. But we're going to need another X factor, to step up. Emmanuel Quickly, Alec Burks. And if we can get something from Obi, we can use Obi's athleticism out there against this team.
Yeah. Sam, I truly think our Alec Burks is limited at the point guard position. I truly think that limits him. Anytime you see Alec Burks go out there playing point guard, you just limit his scoring ability, in my opinion. If Kemba plays, I think that'd be great because then you'll have that X factor off the bench in Alec Burks. But if Alec Burks is going to play point guard, in my opinion, start at the point guard, I think Quickly is going to have to be that guy, that other guy.
The other guy, right.
And just to give Andy some credit, Andy, I will say this. That shot by IQ in the Pacers game was the worst decision I've ever seen in years, basketball-wise. That was one of the most painful plays to watch when he brought the ball back out instead of trying to attack and shot that three. So I just want to give Andy his flowers.
Charles B, right? Me and Charles B.
Oh, no. I don't – to Chuck B, too. I don't like when IQ takes these bad shots. I think Chuck is a little bit too harsh on him. But that was one of the worst plays I've seen. So to the dude, Ayub, who talked about the green light, no, he needs more structure. What he did yesterday was excellent. No, we didn't talk about him enough or whatever about the game yesterday. But a game for him where he's taking proper shots, attacking the basket when he needs to, not jacking 40-foot threes. Definitely. And also, didn't Burks go like 1 for 10 yesterday? He was bad yesterday. Like 1 for 10 or something like that.
Something like that. On that IQ play, obviously IQ, it was terrible for him to come way back out. But Obi takes some responsibility in that. Because Obi should have given it up earlier. If he would have given it up earlier, I think he would have got the lob. Right? But he gave it up kind of late. And then, for whatever reason, IQ's brain failed him for a second or whatever. I was like, what the heck is going on?
And I'm sorry, if Obi can't hit shots from the outside, Sim, against some of these teams that hone in the half court, bro, he's not producing much, man. Like I saw him yesterday. He tried a few times trying to sneak in the corner and do the baseline thing, but Obi, it's tough. I feel bad for him. I'm not going to get into. I know you're about to close the show, but Obi top, I just don't know what he could do because, like, how else can you use him? He's not consistent in shots from the outside when he's wide open, and they're giving that to him. They're not even running out on him anymore. They're giving that to him. He's not hitting that. So I just don't know what else, unless teams are falling asleep defensively on the back line, but I don't know how else you find this environment.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to get up out of here. Tomorrow, when I do the game preview, we're going to have a Boston Celtics podcaster on, B Smooth. He's going to be on with us, all right, to talk about the Celtics. I'm so glad, and, we talked about it yesterday about him coming on tomorrow, and I'm so glad the Knicks came back because I was already thinking, like, oh, my gosh, he's going to kill us tomorrow when we get on the podcast. He's going to destroy us. Can't do that now. You know what I mean? He can't do it now. So, yeah. Be Smooth. We ready for you tomorrow, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. We're going to take you out with something really special. I'm going to let G-Mo get off. We're going to let G-Mo get up out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Guillermo's reaction from last night when RJ Barrett hit the game winner. I know you all been waiting for this. If you haven't seen it, you've been waiting for it. Let's go. Let's go ahead and get into it, ladies and gentlemen. This is our guy, G-Mo. This is his reaction from last night.
Burks looking to get out to RJ. RJ. Tatum shoots a three. Give it all! Put some respect on my son's name. That's my son. Give me those.
I didn't want to see nothing else. I didn't want to see nothing else. Game over.
Put some respect on my son's name.
I tell RJ.
Put some respect on my son's name. Put some respect on my son's name.
Okay, this that go play. This that opposite of bad steak in your plate. This that 41 with a gun in your face. RJ is your boss, he sent you home with no pay. And he's so clutch, he's so out of line, you know what? Even if the stat line don't hold up, even if the foul line is cold cuts, there's no overtime or big nuts. Better play 48 against us. Down by 48 and still trust. Evan Fournier just went nuts. Almost had 48 and come bust like the rim when it went in. New York hood feels so good when we winning. I still can't believe that went in. RJ called bank like he forgot his pin. Low percentage, get no mentions, it don't bother him. All those block shots cannot stop what's bottled in. Bust that somber maple number, you can rattle this. Like some cows on a piece of paper, he the catalyst. RJ.
Man, that was crazy. I honestly didn't even really see it because I fell. I didn't even see it go in, but just from everybody else's reaction, I could tell, so that was cool.